Hey everybody, in today's video on Geotech and more, I'd like to announce that Microsoft Edge web browser is now available for Linux distributions, for GNU Linux distributions like Ubuntu and Debian. It's also available for Red Hat based distributions. Here it is. Here's introducing Microsoft Edge preview builds for Linux right here. Here's the page right here. Believe it or not, Microsoft Edge web browser is available for Linux. Now this web browser is based on Google Chromium web browser. You can see right here. And this information right here. It's based on Chromium web browser, which Chrome is based on. So there you go. And you can download it from right here. I'll provide a link to this right here where you can download it. I should say that this is a development version of Microsoft Edge web browser. I just installed this. So what you do is you click right here, you download the version for Debian or Ubuntu right here. And if you click the down arrow right here, it seems that you can also download the RPM version, which is the Fedora Linux version or OpenSUSE version. The Red Hat Linux version would be available right here as an RPM. But I'm running Debian, so I clicked this right here. I accepted the license agreement right here. You can scroll through and read it if you'd like. And that's it. You have to know how to install a Debian package though, which you do it by command line. So I did that from a terminal. And the way you would do that is dpkg -E, and then you well, first of all, you would list the directory, and then you would cd to the desktop. You put ls for list, and then right here you put dpkg -I for install, and then you copy and paste this right here, which is the deb package right here. You just copy, and then you paste that. You hit return, and then it'll start installing. Now on my computer here, I had 60 dependencies that it needed, so it partially installed. So what I did was it needed more dependencies, so I opened up the Synaptic Package Manager, which is right here. Put my root password. And then I got a complaint from the Synaptic Package Manager that I had a broken package. So I went right here, and then I went to Fix Broken Packages, and that listed all my necessary dependencies that I needed, which I needed 60 dependencies. It installed those after I clicked Fix Broken Package. It installed all that. I clicked apply, and it installed all those dependencies, and I got it to work. So there you go. So you just click right here. You download your deb package, or like I said, just click right here and download the Fedora version or the OpenSUSE version right here. I think it would install on Red Hat Linux too, Red Hat Enterprise Linux too, since it also uses RPM packages. And then you have your other builds right here. You know, you have the Mac OS version, the Apple version, Windows 10, all the other ones. There's even an Android version of Microsoft Edge. So there you go. I installed it. Here's the website right here. There's a little video. Let's see if it plays.
All right, and I'm joined now by Sean Larkin, who's program manager with Microsoft Edge. Now, I often call him Mr. Webpack, just as I call Jeff Holland Mr. Serverless, but we're not talking about Webpack right now, are we, Sean?
No, that's correct. We're actually talking about bringing Microsoft Edge to Linux.
Yes, yes, Microsoft Edge coming to Linux. And this was actually announced back at Microsoft Build back in May, but we've got some other news now, which is around the availability of the first preview of Microsoft Edge on Linux, right?
That is correct. Yep. We have announced that we are making Microsoft Edge available next month for anybody to try, use, and put into their CI/CD systems, make it their daily driver, and provide us feedback so that we can make it the best browser across any of these operating systems that we built for today.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I'm super excited about this because, you know, this is one of those projects that I think a lot of us, we would kind of look at. And even though we know that, like, Internet Explorer existed on Unix and stuff like that, like, the fact is that, you know, for a lot of people, they hear Microsoft Edge on Linux, they're like, what? Really? This is happening? But it's really exciting. I mean, I think especially when we see a lot of the work that we're doing within kind of the Linux ecosystem with WSL2 and some of that stuff. But talk to me a little bit about, like, what, who are you thinking about in terms of, like, the users for Microsoft Edge on Linux?
I think it's fair to really separate, you know, our target customers as two different target customers. So the first one is going to be you as a web developer rely on shipping, you know, your browser in your CIC, or rely on shipping your website and testing it through your CI/CD systems. Now, we know that Linux has a huge market share for CI/CD and automation and browser automation. And so we wanted to be able to give you the ability to test on any browser across any system and any platform so that you could have a consistent experience, whether it be your tests running, your tests failing, or having your automation tools working as seamless as possible. So that was our first main customer that we wanted to reach. Our second one was the Linux enthusiasts, the people who every day, every week, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us on our forums and say, hey, is Edge really available on Linux yet? And these are the people who depend on Linux as their, not only their favorite, but you know, their way of life for doing anything they do, you know, on their computer and their devices. And so
there you go. So that's a person like me. I use Linux on a daily. Every day I use Linux, so, or more correctly, GNU Linux. You know, I use Debian. I've used Ubuntu. I've used Slackware. Many GNU Linux distributions. I've used Linux Mint. They're all awesome. Fedora I've used. I've even used BSD-based distributions, which is basically Unix-based, I'm sorry. But I've tested out all these different open source operating systems, and I stick with GNU Linux distributions, you know, Debian, and Ubuntu-based distributions, so there you go. Which Ubuntu is based on Debian, so there you go. On the daily I do. So for me, you know, this works out great. So there you go. I'm going to provide a link in the description on where you can download this. This link right here will be in the description. You go to this website, you download this right here, or right here if you're running a RPM-based distribution like Fedora, OpenSUSE, or Red Hat Linux. You can install this version. But if you're running a Debian-based distribution or Ubuntu, you download it from right here. And I'll put a link in the description. Here's another look at it. I never thought I'd see this, you know, Microsoft Edge on a Linux distribution, but there you go. There it is. Edge on Linux. There you go. based on Google Chromium, which is what Chrome is also based on. So there you go. And thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching Geotech and More. Edge browser on Linux. Okay, take care, everyone. Before I go, I'd like to say that if you're running a Debian-based distribution and you're running Synaptic, the package manager, it's right here. Here's the information on it. And also, it does appear in your menu. So it's right here, and you'll get it right here in the menu on your Debian-based distribution. So there you go. Depending on your desktop environment that you're running, I'm running LXDE right here. So it's in the menu, but if you're running any other desktop, it should appear in your menu. So easily accessible. And it should automatically update when new builds come out. So there you go. Microsoft Edge for Linux distributions. Okay, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching Geotech and More.